Hello, brief recap. Right, I've been hanging on to see what the Ryzen 9000 series was going to do. I did think that it was going to match the 7800 3D for gaming, and then it would excel in single core, rendering, all other stuff. I thought that's what the baseline would be anyway. Then I heard some rumours that the 7800 would still be king for gaming. And then we started to see some leaks, and then the chips got recalled because of some misprinting, strangely enough. And then reviewers started getting them literally, I think some of them got them about a week ago, and they've only just started to speak about them in the past day or two. And it seems to be that it's I wouldn't say lackluster, they're still good, but considering the price, the main one that probably people are looking at is the 9900X. It's sometimes equal to the 7800 3D in gaming, and sometimes it's not equal, and the 7800 runs away with it. Now again, with these kind of setups, yes, a good CPU is important, but the main thing is this. When you start hitting 4K, this becomes the more important side of things. 1080p, 1440p CPUs can make a big difference, even to what your GPU is doing. But as soon as you hit 4K, it kind of swaps it around. So it does seem that those people who early adopted to the 7800 3D, you got yourself a good chip there, because I don't really see any need for you to really move over to the 9000. I know there's a 9000, I think it's going to be 9900 3D due. Again, rumours, end of this year. I think it's going to be more like mid next year. That obviously is going to be a hell of a chip. So I really, unless you're really struggling for a CPU at this moment in time, I personally, obviously if you're on the gaming side of things, I would try and find yourself a good priced, or maybe even a used 7800 3D, and wait for the 9900 3D, or maybe even skip that, because the 7800 3D, it's even going to be providing the 5090 when it comes out with as many frames as it needs to be, unless you're somebody who obviously games at 1080p or 1440p professionally or online or something like that. Again, more so with online shooters and things where every single frame matters, and obviously your low end, your low FPS and things like that, and your averages matter. But for most people, at this moment in time, it's a bit hard to recommend the 9000s, when if you can get your hand on the 7800 3D, that's probably the best bet, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip the 9000s by the look of it. I would have done this already, but I was hanging on in hope that it would be at least equal, but it seems for my particular uses, it's not going to be the better option. Plus the 9000 series is more expensive. So by the time I sell the chip in here, there's not a bigger difference compared to like having to fork out for the 9000s. If you need rendering, if you need obviously those kind of things, and obviously AMD is better on the wattage and the performance and the cooling side and the noise side. If you're into those kind of things, then by all means look at the 9000 series. But yeah, and I certainly can't recommend Intel, not with all the drama and the way they've been behaving with the knowledge they had and trying to brush everything under the carpet, and some scummy practices there. And this is an ideal time for AMD to really make a name for themselves, even more so. It's a shame they couldn't have done something better with the prices of the 9000 series, because it would have been a good killing time against Intel. And again, we'll have to wait and see how the 9000s sell, because if it's a bit lackluster, I can see the 3D versions coming out sooner rather than later. But wait and see. But yeah, my recommendation now is the 7800 3D, and that'll probably last you a good while, certainly to the 5090s and maybe even beyond. So bit of disappointment, like I say, with the 9000s, unless you're going to use it for certain uses. Anyway, bye.